I'm Ankita Robin and welcome to SG Global News. From the brutal murder of over 40 Congolese Catholics in the middle of the night to the arrest of 2 Catholic nuns in India on charges of alleged forced conversion, we have many stories to cover. In the early hours of July 27th, Islamic State-backed ADF militants stormed a Catholic church in Ituri province, attacking worshippers gathered for a night vigil. At least 43 people were killed and several others were abducted in what is being described as one of the deadliest assaults on Christians in the region this year. The attackers also set fire to nearby homes and shops. A mass burial is now being prepared as local Christian leaders and aid groups call for urgent international action. At least 43 people were killed in a brutal overnight attack on a Catholic church in the Democratic Republic of Congo on July 27th. The assailants, identified as Islamic State-backed Allied Democratic Forces militants, stormed the church in Komanda town, located in Ituri province in eastern Congo, during a night vigil service at around 1 a.m. The terrorists slaughtered worshippers and set fire to numerous homes and shops. According to Dieudonné Durantabo, a local civil society leader who spoke to the Associated Press, the bodies of the victims remained at the scene as volunteers prepared for a mass burial. The compound of the Catholic Church is reportedly being prepared to accommodate the mass grave. Another civil society leader, Losa Dhekana, confirmed that several individuals were kidnapped with no information yet available about their fate. UN-backed Radio Okapi reported that 43 people were killed in the attack, which was orchestrated by the ADF, one of the most notorious rebel groups in the region. Originally formed in the 1990s as a Ugandan Islamist rebel movement opposing the government, the ADF has since evolved and is now considered part of the Islamic State's Central Africa province. This is not the first time the ADF has targeted Christians. In February 2025, ADF fighters attacked a Christian village, kidnapping over 100 people. Later that month, the bodies of 70 victims were discovered in a Protestant church. Many of them were bound and some were beheaded. Eastern Congo remains the stronghold of the ADF, where abductions and killings of Christians occur with alarming frequency. Despite the scale of persecution, the suffering of Congolese Christians often goes unnoticed by international media, giving militants a sense of impunity. We turn now to the Holy Land, where Israeli settlers have once again targeted the historic Christian village of Taibe in the occupied West Bank. Masked attackers broke in during the early hours of the morning, torching vehicles and spraying threatening graffiti in the Greek Orthodox housing project. This is the second such attack in just 3 weeks. In response, the Forum of Holy Land Christians has issued a strong statement condemning the violence and calling on international actors to intervene. Forum of Holy Land Christians, a group of prominent Israeli-Palestinian Christians, has issued a statement following this morning's attack on Taibe by Israeli settlers. The incident comes just 20 days after an arson attack near the Church of St. George, also carried out by settlers, and has been condemned in strong terms by Palestinian Christians. According to the statement, masked men entered Taibe at around 2:30 a.m., torched vehicles and sprayed hostile graffiti in Hebrew. Although no lives were lost, several cars belonging to Christians were burned at the Greek Orthodox housing project. In their statement, the Holy Land Christians noted that these attacks come amid a clear rise in settler violence across the West Bank, not only against Palestinians, but also against Israeli security forces. They called for an in-depth investigation by a neutral international body and stressed the need to hold the attackers accountable. They added that apologies alone are not enough to prevent future violence and emphasized the importance of addressing those who incite such acts. The statement concluded with an exhortation to Palestinian Christians and all people of goodwill to hold on to hope and urge those in positions of influence to act decisively before it's too late. Even during his time away from the White House, US President Donald Trump has struck an important deal with the European Union, slashing tariffs on European exports in exchange for purchasing cheap gas from Russia. Trump called the deal historic, while other European leaders expressed optimism that it could ease the ongoing standoff between the two sides.
As Trump's Scottish vacation continues, the United States and the European Union have reached a deal which the president described as the biggest ever in US history. In a high-stakes meeting, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen joined him at his golf resort in Scotland, where President Trump announced that a minimum 15% tariff reduction would be applied to all tariffs imposed on EU exports to the US. The deal was clinched just days before the August 1st deadline, a point when Trump, at the twilight of his second term, had previously announced that tariffs would be imposed on all European manufactured products. According to official reports, the newly reduced tariffs will apply across the board, including Europe's crucial automobile sector, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductors. After the meeting, Donald Trump told the media that the historic deal materialized only after the 27-member bloc agreed to purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the United States, along with approximately $800 billion in additional investments. This move appears to be part of Trump's ongoing bid to prevent countries from purchasing cheaper oil from Russia. The deal was positively received by European leaders. German Chancellor Friedrich von Merz swiftly hailed the agreement, saying it avoided a needless escalation in transatlantic trade relations. Economic analysts forecast that this transatlantic agreement will ease the ongoing tariff standoff between US and Europe, which has persisted since the beginning of the year.
In a critical step toward easing Southeast Asia's growing tensions, the leaders of Thailand and Cambodia are meeting in Malaysia for ceasefire talks. The high-level discussions follow deadly border clashes and mounting casualties. With the US and China stepping in to assist, Malaysia is now at the heart of a significant regional peace effort.
Leaders from Thailand and Cambodia arrived in Kuala Lumpur today to hold emergency peace talks aimed at holding deadly clashes along their shared border, according to US and regional sources. Malaysia has brought both sides to the table with diplomatic backing from the US and China. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim is expected to lead the emergency summit, according to official sources. Malaysia's national news agency Bernama reported that both sides approached Anwar to mediate, prompting him to call for an immediate ceasefire. The US State Department confirmed that officials are currently in Malaysia to reinforce the region's conflict resolution initiative. In a statement released on Sunday, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Washington believed both leaders wanted to end the conflict. Clashes erupted last Thursday following the May killing of a Cambodian soldier, which escalated tensions into the worst border violence in over a decade. More than 30 people, including 20 civilians, have been killed. Authorities have confirmed evacuations have displaced over 200,000 people so far. Thailand had initially pushed for bilateral talks, while Cambodia sought international arbitration. Diplomatic sources view the talks as essential to diffusing tensions and averting further humanitarian impact.
Ukrainian drones targeted St. Petersburg on Navy Day, briefly shutting down Pulkovo airport and delaying flights as President Vladimir Putin marked the occasion under tightened security. The traditional naval parade was cancelled amid fears of attack, while over 290 drones were intercepted across Russia.
Ukrainian drones targeted St. Petersburg on Sunday, facing a 5-hour closure in Pulkovo airport as President Vladimir Putin observed Navy Day military exercises in the city, according to Reuters. Russia's defense ministry said that air defense units intercepted 291 fixed-wing aerial vehicles across the country, a figure lower than the record 524 drones downed on May 7th ahead of Victory Day celebrations. More than 10 of them were shot down, with falling debris injuring one woman in the Leningrad region. Governor Alexander Drozdenko said forces managed to repel the attack earlier in the day. Officials had previously cancelled St. Petersburg's large naval parade due to security threats flagged weeks in advance. The event usually features a flotilla on the Neva River and is attended by the Russian leader. Despite the alert, he arrived by patrol boat and reviewed naval drills involving over 150 warships and 15,000 troops. In a video address, he said the day was being marked in a working setting to inspect fleet readiness, Reuters reported. Airport operations resumed later on Sunday after authorities delayed 57 flights and diverted 22.
In an outrageous act, 2 Catholic nuns from the Assisi Sisters of Mary Immaculate were arrested at Durg railway station in the Indian state of Chhattisgarh on Saturday, July 26th, while accompanying 3 young women aged between 18 and 19, along with a young man. According to the first information report, the arrest was made under serious charges of human trafficking and religious conversion. The nuns were remanded to judicial custody until August 8th.
2 Catholic nuns from the Assisi Sisters of Mary Immaculate were arrested at Durg railway station in the Indian state of Chhattisgarh on Saturday, July 26, along with a young man while accompanying 3 women aged between 18 and 19. According to the first investigation report, the nuns were charged with human trafficking and religious conversion under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and the Chhattisgarh Religious Freedom Act 1968, carrying a punishment of up to 10 years in jail. The 2 nuns, Sister Preeti Mary and Sister Vandana Francis, are originally from the Indian state of Kerala. According to Father Sebastian Pumatam, Vicar General of the Raipur Archdiocese, the nuns were accompanying the women to place them in convents in Agra for domestic work. These women were being offered jobs as kitchen helpers with a monthly salary between Rs 8,000 and Rs 10,000. They had consent letters from their parents and were all above 18 years of age. The situation escalated when a railway ticket examiner approached the group on the platform. Father Pumatam further added that the girls, accompanied by a man, entered the platform where the nuns were waiting. When the examiner asked to see their tickets, they claimed the nuns had them. Shortly afterward, the examiner alerted local Bajrang Dal members who arrived in large numbers within minutes. Railway police detained the nuns along with others. The women were later shifted to a government-run shelter home, while the nuns and the man were remanded to judicial custody until August 8th. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of India expressed outrage and deep concern over the incident. The CBCI demands that the state governments ensure the safety of all religious women and take immediate action to prevent such incidents. They also requested urgent intervention from the union government to address this issue. According to the press release, this incident is one of the many in recent months where religious women have been subjected to harassment, false accusations and fabricated cases. It is important to note that the arrest took place despite written consent letters issued by the parents of each girl, all of whom are above 18 years of age. These repeated unwarranted actions are a grave violation of the Constitution and cannot be tolerated. Sister Asha Paul, a nun from the Congregation of the Holy Family in the National Capital Territory, Delhi, alleged that no church representatives were allowed to meet the detained nuns. All India Congress Committee General Secretary K.C. Venugopal wrote to the Union Home Minister and the Chhattisgarh Chief Minister demanding strict action. The letter stated that it is deeply disturbing that self-proclaimed vigilantes can instigate communal tension and make baseless accusations of conversion and trafficking without any legal foundation. Recent incidents of intimidation against minority communities have raised serious concerns. According to a data compiled by the Union Christian Forum, reveals that reported cases targeting Christians have surged dramatically, increasing from 127 in 2014 to 834 in 2024.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.